Piston replacement procedure for the LAM 200 air blower. Only qualified personnel should attempt this service procedure. Please unplug the blower from the mains supply. As the blower might be hot, and to reduce the spread of dust and finger grease marks, we recommend the use of disposable gloves. First of all, take off the 8 screws from the upper case and remove the main gasket known as gasket C. Carefully remove the power cord bush from the bottom case. Pull out the S-hose from the bottom case. Unclip the rubber feet from the blower air tank. If you use a tool to assist in removing these legs, please take extra care not to cause any damage. It's recommended that the final leg, the one nearest to the power cord, should be removed without using a tool. Instead, it should be removed by lifting the blower whilst pulling the rubber foot with your fingers. The next stage is to remove the air tank from the blower. Turn the blower upside down and take off the 6 hex bolts that are located around the edge of the top plate. Please take particular note that the centre bolt should never be loosened. If you are using a tool to assist in forcing off the air tank, again be careful not to damage any associated components or surfaces. Then remove the HS gasket. To prevent the misalignment of the blower's moving parts, install the special jig using the 35mm screw for the magnetic shaft and the 2 16mm screws for the pump housing. If the magnetic shaft is not correctly aligned to the jig, it must be carefully moved back into position using your fingers rather than a tool. Turn the blower longwise and loosen the 4 hex bolts located around the edge of the metal end plate. Only loosen these hex bolts by about 5mm and don't fully remove them. Never loosen the central hex bolt. If you are using a tool to assist in forcing off the end chamber, again be careful not to damage any associated components or surfaces. Confirm that the chamber has been cleanly separated from the housing. It is now that the 4 hex bolts can be fully removed. Followed by the chamber and the gasket CY. Using a hex wrench, unscrew the hex bolt that connects the piston to the magnetic shaft and remove the used piston set. Install a new piston set, checking that the spring is firmly anchored to the piston. Refit and tighten the hex bolt. In this process of replacing pistons, never allow any oil, water or particulates to come into contact with the black Teflon or the metal running surfaces. Replace the gasket CY in the correct orientation so as not to obstruct the air path within the blower. Like this. Replace the chamber onto the top of the spring, ensuring a good fit and the correct orientation. Replace and evenly screw down the 4 hex bolts. This is best done little by little and repeatedly, opposite corner to opposite corner. Periodically pause to ensure the chamber dowels are aligned and fit snugly within the associated holes in the main housing. If all looked good, continue to tighten the hex bolts until complete. Next, replace the second piston using the same procedure. Never only service one piston, and never take apart both chambers at the same time. After both pistons have successfully been replaced, remove the special jig. Within this servicing process, ensure no foreign objects fall into or are left within the main housing, and never touch or damage the coil. To replace the air tank gasket AT, unscrew and remove the single hex bolt and nut located at the centre of the tank. Remove the air tank plate and then the old gasket. Carefully fit the new air tank gasket into position and then the air tank plate on top of that. Take note that a small triangle or arrowhead is grooved into the air tank plate on the edge next to the hose to ensure correct orientation when fitting. Reassemble the air tank plate, being careful when tightening the hex nut and bolt by hand as it's a little tricky. Final tightening should be done using a tool. Replace the gasket HS that is located between the blower housing and the air tank assembly. Please ensure the correct orientation and fitting of this gasket, especially the tongue to the circle portion of the housing. Here is the circle portion of the housing. Refit the air tank to the blower housing, taking particular care to insert the power cord correctly into its channel without it being trapped or pinched in any way. Also take care that the gasket HS doesn't move or slip down into the housing. Replace and evenly screw down the 6 hex bolts into the air tank. This is best done little by little from bolt to bolt. If necessary, the centre bolt can also be checked to confirm it's tight. Replace the blower back onto the bottom case and firmly push the 6 rubber feet back into position. Please ensure the rubber feet are pushed in all the way. Refit the S-shaped outlet hose onto the pipe located within the bottom case. Ensure the hose is fully seated onto the pipe. Refit the lead wire bush into the bottom case. Please note that the bush only fits in one orientation. Next, reroute the lead wires into their special channel within the bottom case, being careful not to twist them. They should be inserted in the correct order: ground first, followed by neutral, and finally by live, and the sticky backed foam replaced. The remaining lengths of lead wire should be carefully manipulated to ensure it does not touch the blower at any point along its length. Before proceeding further, the blower should be plugged in to ensure it operates correctly. Turn on the blower and flock its outlet to ensure there are no air leaks. Particular attention should be given to the housing and cylinder gaskets which have just been changed. Reinstall the bottom case gasket C, to the edge of the bottom case. Check that the bottom case gasket is correctly and firmly fitted. Refit the upper case and its 8 screws and screw them down little by little. Continue to tighten the 8 screws little by little until they are all tight. Don't forget to also exchange air filters, which are located in the top of the upper case and can be found by removing the 1 screw in its lid. The LAM 200 blower is now fully serviced and should give you many happy years of happy pumping. Please ensure our blowers are located in a clean, well ventilated location. If you have any concerns about any detail of this procedure, please contact Nitto Kohki.